Hi guys, if you watched the latest Draw the Trigger video, you would have seen a retro game between myself and Phil. I had a lot of fun in the game and it was interesting for me to see what I could come up with for Bermuda triangles as a retro deck. So my build is a Riviera / reindeer build, and I thought I'd show you guys the build to show newer players what it was like back in the day, 3-4 years ago, to have no strides, no G-Guardians, normal perfect guards, and limited resources. For example, 1 booster box. So to get into the deck profile, as I said, this is a Riviera reindeer deck, so I do run the Riviera starter, where if you ride the grade 1 on top, you get to check the top 7 for the 2 or the 3. I use this for ride consistency in the deck because I was too worried of if I'm using extra grade 3s, I'm going to misride. So that's what I wanted this for. For triggers, I run 6 draw triggers, 6 critical triggers, and 4 heal triggers. This could be called standard for what people used to use. I know I definitely used to use it a lot, particularly in this style of Bermudas. Grade 1s, we run 4 Mermaid Idol Riviera. If you have the grade 0 in the soul, she is an 8k base, so it was good for early defending and early attacks. And when you ride the grade 2 on top, if you have the grade 0 in soul, you get to draw a card. So this was very much a ride chain deck where you benefited from doing the perfect rides. And the benefit was extra draws. We run 3 Blazer Idols. Her skill is when she's placed on the rear guard circle, you can give another one of your units plus 2000 power. So it helps with early game attacks, and the power can be put onto the Vanguard as well, which really helps. We have just the tech-in of the 1 Mermaid Idol for Luca. When she's placed on Vanguard or rear guard, you can soul charge 1. So she helps fix the ride chain and adds up for extra abilities later on. And then we run 4 perfect guards. In Retro Vanguard, there was a rule that we could use any perfect guards that we could get our hands on, because in some cons they are pretty scarce. So, but for me, I just used the Retro Ellies because they look really pretty, and I had too many lying about. For grade 2s, we run 4 Super Idol Rivieras. If you have the grade 1 in soul, she is a 10k base, very good for early grade 2 rushes, where if they're using 9k rear guards, you can just guard a lot more easier, and because they won't be able to hit this. And again, if you ride the grade 3 on top, if the grade 1 is in the soul, you get to draw a card. So Feluca was good in that sense, where if you misread the grade 1 and Feluca put it into the soul, that effect would still go off if you rode the grade 3. The backup ride we had in the deck was Pearl Sister Perla, just to add a bit of on-hit pressure and to have a reason to use all that soul we were getting. So Vanguard or rear guard, so even though she's an ideal second ride target, she's very good on the rear guard as well. Soul Blast 1, when the attack hits the Vanguard, choose another unit and bounce it. So she was very good for this card here. Girls Rock Rio. We used 3 Girls Rock Rio because we needed the extra space for another grade 3, otherwise I probably would have used 4. Her skill is Cannibast 1 and Soul Charge 1. When the card is bounced from your rear guard to your hand, you can draw a card. So again, we're keeping up the whole idea of this deck is just going to have a lot of hand advantage and you can't do anything about it unless you kill off my rear guards. Grade 3s, we run 4 Top Idol Riviera. If you have the grade 2 in soul, she is an 11k base, which back in the day when this deck was out was very helpful. Ride chains were very good in the sense of having that 11k, especially when this type of ride chain came out, because you didn't have to focus on getting the 1 and the 2, such as what Tsukiyomi would need. Otherwise she was a 9k, so this was very good to have. And also her second skill is Cannibast 2. Choose a card named Top Idol Riviera in your hand and discard her. When the attack hits the Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose 3 of your other rear guards or units. Primarily this would be rear guards because you've already attacked with her, and they get 5,000 power. So even if you didn't hit triggers, and even if you drive check one of these, you can still discard it if the attack hit. So you're forcing more guard out to your opponent's hand, which is really good. I run 2 Rainbow Light Kareen. She is just the grade 3 version of Rio, but she's a 10k version. Even though she's not your ideal ride, which is why there's only 2 in the deck, she is Counterblast 1, Sword Charge 1. When she returns to your hand, you draw a card. And it just added an extra rear guard pressure as well, being a 10k, which meant she could hit Vanguards a little bit more easily in this format. Unless obviously you Phil, who used the Fighters Collection and everything was an 11k. The last grade 3 and the most important grade 3 for me was Velvet Voice Reindeer. Choose one of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards and return it to your hand. When this unit drive checks a grade 3, which is why there are 10 in the deck, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a rear guard from your hand. Choose a card from your hand and call it to rear guard rather. She is really good from this format. There was a lot of cards that required grade 3s to be revealed for extra effects. Death Army for them to be able to restand on the rear guard, and then you had a Shurikaiser to restand additional rear guards. So they were really good. And in this format, Reindeer could keep up a bit more until EBO 6 came out, where it was Break Ride, Labrador, Pacifica had more support, and then you also had Coral. So this is one of my more favourite retro decks to have built. I do like this card so much, and by the time this video goes out, all of the Reindeer support's pretty much been announced. As far as I know, she has a new grade 3, which is fantastic. She has her own grade 1, which makes her an 11k. This card in particular, she'll make an 11k as long as she's in the same column, which is quite frankly fantastic for guarding, and she can keep up with the 11k Vanguards now. And she still gets all those extra attacks in, and the new card allows you to have extra Vanguard attacks, extra drive checks. There are grade 2s and 1s that count as grade 3s in the trigger zone. Clearly, we're stealing the idea from Dimension Police, but hey, I'm not going to argue. You essentially already have 12 grade 3s in the deck, if you include those cards, which also recycle as well by having additional benefits as Vanguard as your Reindeer, Reindeer as your Vanguard, and you get to, I believe one of them is an unflip and the other card is you recycle it to draw 2 cards. It is so good. They set up for this, they set up for the new card, and this deck is only going to get better, I feel, with the new set. You can run it completely without GB skills, which is what I'm looking forward to the most. Granted, Seabreeze came out, but I feel since that card's come out, you're most likely not going to stall anymore. Well, I know I'm not, because my opponent's going to have Seabreeze, and I'd rather not sit there on a grade 2 Vanguard with a triple drive coming at my face, because quite frankly that is not what I want in this format. And with next month coming out with the new Bermuda set, I look forward to not only editing this deck, but my Coral deck. I mean, as this video is going up, Bermudas have had nearly all the set announced, bar some commons, a few rares, and I think at this time we're missing 2 double rares, a triple rare, and a G rare. And we all know the G rare is going to be Loris, because it'd be stupid not to be, and it wouldn't make any sense. But that's me rambling on about how this set can only get better, and how Retro Vanguard has actually shown me that Reindeer can only get better and better as time goes on. And for me, there is always a way to make the game more exciting, and I do recommend trying a game of Retro Vanguard yourself, or even just trying a non-GB deck for a while. I mean, Bladewing Reiji is no longer a GB deck as well. You can use non-GB stuff with him. There are cards that are being reprinted which were must-haves in the old decks. I mean, you had Flirtatious Succubus for Dark Irregulars, and you also had Doreen the Thrusters being reprinted. Kagera got the axe, even though yes it is Legion, they still got the axe. Ashura Kaiser got a grade 3 cross ride. You know, all these sorts of things where you just love and appreciate the old decks again. So Retro Vanguard for me to do this came at a good time, and I recommend highly doing it. Anyway guys, that's enough of me fumbling and bumbling about and ranting on about decks. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for looking at my deck with me and going through a blast in the past. If you have any more retro decks you want to see, leave a comment down below. Here's a tip, there's an All-Star Maiden of deck coming up. Hopefully that'll be up and done in time for this. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video. If you liked the video, remember to subscribe and hit the like button. Start ranting down below as well about your favourite non-GB decks coming out. And for now, bye bye!